Hello, Cow Corner Nation. Long time no see. Me, Mama, Jatan Mama, here back with another episode.
Hey guys. Yeah, it's been a while, right?
Been a while, but a lot of things have been happening in the world of cricket.
So much has happened.
Yeah.
So much has happened. It's like we're in a different era almost.
Yeah, cricket and personal life, of course. So lots of big things happening in the months of April and May in all of our individual lives. But now that those things have happened, we can get back to Cow Corner podcasting.
Yeah.
So
Can't wait.
Yeah, the three things we're going to cover today is the end of the IPL, which accumulated on the 31st of May, around 2 weeks ago. Actually, exactly 2 weeks ago from the day we're recording, which is June 14th. Then the India squads for the Afghani tour of India for both the ODI and the Test series. So we'll break down the selection, our thoughts. And then, of course, the big announcement that was made around our new T20 captain that happened.
Yeah.
And then finally, we'll cover some other news, mostly focusing on the England-New Zealand Test series and then some controversy that may or may not have happened on the eve of the second test. So,
Right.
yeah, let's get right into it, Mama. IPL final. We had our RCB versus Gujarat. Ultimately, RCB won the toss, elected to bowl. Were able to get out Gujarat's top order, right, of Gill, Sudarshan, and Butler for relatively cheap scores. So all scoring less than 20 runs. And then, of course, that was the recipe for victory for RCB. King Kohli at the end, the chase master, 75 of 42 not out, ending it in style. And, some great contributions across the board from the rest, including few wickets here from from Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and Josh Hazel.
Yeah.
So, and Rafiq Salam. So, yeah, Mama, what do you think went well for RCB this time around?
Yeah, I think everything, right? I think, frankly, from the start itself, right, I felt they probably had the most balanced side, I think.
Yeah.
In the batting, obviously, Virat Kohli in the form that he is in, right, fourth highest a number of runs in this IPL. He continuously keeps being in the top 5-10, right, every year. So he's still in the same form. It doesn't seem any form has dipped, right? And then the bowling, right, Hazelwood and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. I think Hazelwood, we were not even sure if he's going to play here, but he did in some of the games. And Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, right? Why don't they just get him back for the Test team of India?
I know.
But well,
Yeah.
I think that thing is past. But I think he's just so experienced right now that even if he's playing in an IPL in the entire year, right? He just knows how to prepare, what to do, right? Even we started watching him like maybe 10, 12 years back when IPL was when T20s was so different.
Yeah.
But he's still successful today, right?
Absolutely. He's evolved his game as well to incorporate not just his swing, but use of variations. Can bowl in the death now as well. He's not just a power play bowler. So, and I think his mentality is quite admirable because you see, even in the news, it's kind of interesting to see someone perform the way he does without the ultimate goal of playing for India, because he's been there, he's done that. And he recognizes, I saw in a press conference, he said, or in an interview, he said, the ultimate goal isn't necessarily to play for India, but to only play for India if the selectors believe that he is, in fact, one of the top 4 or 5 bowlers in the country. And I think he just really loves the game. He loves competing. And, he really channeled RCB to that final and ultimately the victory. I think what you said was about balance. I think for me, RCB's strength really lied in the strength and experience of their Indian players, right? So I think that's more so than any other team. I feel that their team was extremely experienced, right? So you had Virat Kohli, you had Rajat Patidar, you had Devdutt Padikkal, you had Jitesh Sharma, you had Krunal Pandya, and you had Bhuvneshwar Kumar. And Rasik Dhar came, and obviously not very experienced. He's the one inexperienced Indian in that lineup, so they really had a good crop of experienced domestic players, and I think that really helped them.
Yash Dayal, right? I mean, I don't know how many games he played, but he's been there, done that, right?
Right.
So many people, and all of them stepping up at the right time, right? That's a good observation.
And then not only that, but of course they're international players like Phil Salt. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete the tournament, but he was very, very good, winning RCB some games with his fielding. And then Tim David as well had a few good innings at the start of the season. So really overall, Josh Hazelwood, Sean Duffy. So really just a complete team, like you said, and they deserve to win, I think.
And Iyer coming and doing his thing in the finals. I mean, Venkatesh Iyer.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, right?
Venkatesh Iyer. They're another experienced player. So, really just, I think you're right.
I think everything fell in place, and I guess they deserved it, right? I mean, winning it again. Until last year, we always thought that, RCB is not yet won. Number 18 is finally what they got. The win they got, and then they repeated. So that obviously meant back-to-back. That meant that, last year was not, fluke, right?
Yep.
And they've always had the team. I think from one of the other differences that I see, of course, the balance that you talked about, not just in Indian players, but also in the foreign players, but also historically they've been very batting heavy. I've never really liked their bowling setup, right? And what they've changed probably is focusing more on understanding that, yes, bowling is also important. You can't just make 200 every time and win the game, right? If you don't have the bowling. Like from the time of Gale, De Villiers, right? Kohli himself, they've always been batting heavy. But now they are good in batting. Not sure as heavy as before, but their bowling is like something which is spectacular. Think about Krunal Pandya, right? I mean, he's bowled well. I think he's beaten Mumbai in one of the games with his bowling. He chased well in one of the games. Just such a low-key, under-the-radar guy, but they've developed him, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and of course, he's a good fielder also. So
experienced, 35 now.
Very experienced, right? So it's just everything just came together for them even this year, and it just seemed that they were destined again to win. I mean, we wanted, say, RR to win, for example, because we wanted Suryavanshi to take that crown. He'll get probably 20 more chances. We probably even wanted SRH to win, right? Because of the way they kind of are redefining batting at the top, right? Did that last year and this year. GT was also, again, Gill captaining them, and like 7 of their players are now in the test team. Like a lot of good Indian, a lot of good Indian players on that team. But I think the balance that they had, and as you said, for Indian players that they had, and the way they probably played as a team. Yeah, I think, and obviously a lot of credit goes to Patidar, right? Kohli couldn't do it for 17 years, and Patidar did it in a couple of years, right? So, not taking anything away from Kohli, obviously. I think he's done a lot as a leader in the Indian Test team, but I think IPL, they just wanted new thought process, new reset, exactly, and it worked. I think that's great. So being from Bangalore, sure, happy about that. But I mean, we'll see how MI goes next year. We could
lots
have
of changes.
Dissection.
It could be lots of changes. They're saying Sky might be going to LSG or somewhere.
Oh wow.
Hardik, I mean, I think he's been linked with Chennai, so see what happens.
I haven't read the grapevine too much recently because
those
of all
the
travel
only 2
we've
things
been
I've
doing.
heard.
But interesting. I mean, are they going to Chennai? Wow, that will be something.
Yeah, right. It would be something.
But let's see. Yeah, all of this is just speculation, so we'll see. I guess we'll have enough time to speculate and see how things go until the next IPL comes. So I think great tournament. I do think not very happy with a lot of the pitches. It's just flat. flat pitches, 200, 250 getting scored easily. And again, I've always been not a fan of the impact player. So, which again, I think makes the game slightly one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But
So
all in all, great entertainment. Yeah, go ahead.
no, I mean, I'd like to ask your thoughts about what, of course, the GOAT Sachin Tendulkar had to say about exactly the topic you're talking about. So I think the three things that he had suggested that we could change in the IPL to kind of make it a little bit more in favor of the bowlers is, number one, kill the impact player rule.
Yeah.
You have 20 overs, you're adding another batter where bowlers are already being challenged. It's an imbalance. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Splitting the power play. So the first 4 overs would be the same exact power play as now. Reducing it from 6 overs to 4 overs. And then the difference, those 2 overs now become a bowling power play where you're now allowed to take an extra fielder outside the circle. And those 2 overs obviously have to happen back to back, but they can happen anytime.
And bowling team decides that.
And the bowling team decides that. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Why not?
And then the final stipulation or rule that he proposed was one bowler is allowed to bowl 5 overs.
But
I think that is less
so,
the least likely to change because it's pretty ingrained in cricket. You divide by 5 and that's the limit.
That again makes it. Wouldn't it make it more batter friendly?
Why?
Sure, you can have the 4 bowlers bowl the overs, but then you just need 4 bowlers. Then you can stack your team again with all the batsmen, right?
No, so only one bowler can bowl 5 overs.
Oh, okay, only one. Okay, I thought everybody could bowl 5. Okay,
just
okay, yeah. That is interesting. But I think again, all these years, it seems we'll have to think more about it. I have not heard these points. I'm sure coming from the god of cricket, definitely we cannot reject it, but think about it. But yeah, I think at least the first 2, right? Especially the impact player. There's just been so much controversy, so much people talking about it that they don't want it. But BCCI keeps bringing it back, and I really feel that it is impacting the overall Indian cricket scene, right? It is reducing the importance of the all-rounder, obviously, and that directly impacts the international team, right? So definitely not in favor of that. It should absolutely be scrapped. It was a great idea, sure, to kind of make the teams make even more runs. But now we have reached a point where even without the impact player, teams can still reach the 200s easily. So I don't think we really need that.
No, so another thought I had potentially is like longer boundaries, right? Like these tiny 60-meter boundaries, less than 60-meter boundaries. I know the stadiums are already built, right? So you can't really just like push the stands back, but...
No, but most of them... I think most of the stadiums are big enough. They just bring the boundaries in, which is pretty sad, right? Let the boundary be the way it was in the Australian older, the current stadiums where I think that will be dangerous for the players. But earlier, you remember in the older times,
where 90s, the fence was
the fence was the boundary.
But that's like baseball. It's kind of the same thing. But yeah, I understand.
No, but then while the fielders are fielding the way you don't feel the same way in baseball, right? I mean, you don't slide into the boundary to save the boundary.
Yeah.
So
the whole jumping acrobatic catches would be out of the door.
Yeah. So you should definitely need the boundary rope, but probably just increase the size. And in relation to that, right? I don't know if you read, there was an article by Greg Chappell on ESPN Cricket Info.
What was it about? I don't think so.
Yeah, same thing. So maybe you should read it up, right? But Greg Chappell is very worried about where the T20 game is going. I mean, of course, the IPL was probably the trigger for it, but he is also kind of worried that the game is just becoming very one-dimensional, where it's just about hitting 4s and 6s, and bowlers are just out of it, right? So he has also suggested some changes. Of course, he's gushing over Vaibhav Suryavanshi and what he can bring to the game, right? And we all are gushing over it. But what he says is that him coming, he will anyway change the game. But he also made suggested some changes. So let's quickly go over that also, right? Since we are on the topic.
Yeah.
He's saying to make it more balanced between the bat and the ball. First thing he's suggesting is the number of wickets a batting team is permitted to lose in a T20 innings should be reduced to 6 from 10. So, he basically is saying that your best bowler can only bowl 4 overs in the format. So the best batters should also be curtailed, right? So it's like so that the top order or whoever is batting, right, should be able to should not probably go all out, right? Especially with the impact player also, when you have 8 or 9 the 8 and the 9 number also batting. So he's saying, sure, you can do whatever you can pack in any batsman you want, but only you can lose 6 wickets. So basically you can have only up to 8 batters. Yeah. So that would force the teams to pick 4 good bowlers. So that was one. And he's saying this I don't know how it can be managed, but he's saying administrators must mandate that a minimum of 3 millimeters of live grass be left on all T20 pitches. So just to get the bowlers in there. And third, he's saying that he would adjust the LBW law so that any ball that is going to hit the stumps
I don't agree with this.
is out.
I don't agree.
No,
with
but I think that's interesting, because I think where he comes from. When I first read it, it also didn't appeal to me. But I think with switch hit becoming so popular in T20, right? How do you even say what is your leg stump anymore? And this thought did come when Peterson first started doing the switch hit, right? Some of the batters, the way especially Peterson, the way he used to do is he used to jump around, right? He used to just jump around that where his feet are not aligned with the leg stump, but now just totally turned around and his feet are aligned with the off stump. And he's going to probably use his bottom hand, which is going to be his left hand, and going to be hitting the shot. So if you're just jumping around, right, which are your leg stumps? Probably you don't know anymore. So maybe in that case, right, since the batsman is moving around so much in the crease, changing stance during the middle of the ball, it just becomes slightly interesting to see. Eventually the ball is hitting the stumps, right? So if it's pitching out, I've been wondering since I've started following cricket, why do we have that rule? Do you know why do we have that rule where the ball should, if it pitches outside leg?
I mean, I would assume that if the ball is pitching outside the leg stump, it's a negative line, like traditionally in Test cricket, right? So you're not really. I mean, the batsman, if you think about a right arm bowler bowling from around the wicket, bowling just into the batsman's pads continuously, right? There's no ball. Yeah. There's no outside the off stump. Back in the day, they used to drive through the offside, right? Not necessarily hit through mid wicket and cow corner. So that's like a fairly negative line for the batsman as well. Yeah, it has changed. Yeah.
So, but I do understand why the rule is the way it is, to obviously avoid negative bowling. And we've seen body line and things, the changes that it has brought in, right? So, yeah, it makes sense to
at least rethink
to have that rule. Yeah. But I would like a rethink only for T20s maybe. Not for all the other formats. But yeah, interesting, right? All these thoughts coming from the stalwarts of cricket.
Yeah.
But yeah. All
right, yeah. So let's get right into the ODI and T20 selection. So what do you have for us, Mama?
I am absolutely upset with the Test team selection.
Shocking.
Right? Let me just throw it out there. I am not happy. We are just screwing up our Test team as we go along, as if we didn't already do that, right? By losing 5 matches in a year, right? But I really feel that the selection has been terrible since the last year and a half, and it's kind of coming to a point where we are just destroying the Test team. So let's see this, right? So we were going to have a single Test match with Afghanistan this June, right? And of course, captain being Shubman Gill, that was obvious. But vice captain KL Rahul, sure. But I think we again have selected Sai Sudarshan, right? I don't know what secrets he knows about either Gautam Gambhir or Ajit Agarkar, but he's always in the team. And then we have the usual suspects of Nitish Kumar Reddy, right? We got somebody called Harsh Dubey as a bowling all-rounder, slow left-arm orthodox. And then I think the biggest, we did get Manav Sutar also, which was, I think, a good decision. I think I'm not sure why Jadeja was rested, but he was rested for this. If he was rested, then yeah, sure, we got a similar bowler. And finally, I think the biggest problem that I have with the squad is them again not selecting Auqib Nab, right? The guy who has been the highest wicket taker for India, for his state team,
Jammu and Kashmir.
For the last 2 years, Jammu and Kashmir. He took 60 wickets at 12 or 13 for the season. 60 wickets, not 1-6.
So you think we should have given him a chance? Yeah.
Yes, he's
on Indian
he's
wickets.
Been doing that for years, right? He's taken those wickets on Indian wickets with the average that, and he's beaten as part of Jammu and Kashmir. They won the Ranji Trophy.
Right. In that insane match.
It's like a bigger victory than India's victory in the 2021 series against Australia. It's, I think, even bigger than India winning the 1983 World Cup. People just don't understand. Jammu Kashmir won the Ranji Trophy this year, and nobody's talking about it, right? And he was the leader. He wasn't the captain. He was the leading wicket taker. Obviously, not just for Jammu Kashmir, but also for the entire Ranji Trophy, all the bowlers put together. And he, I think, was the leading wicket taker last year also, but he took around 40 plus wickets last year also, at again a sub 20 average. So in the last 2 years, he has taken more than 100 wickets. It's not a flash in the pan. Guy means business, and he's at the top form of his life. And you do not select him, and you select somebody called Gurnoor Brar. Sure, he might be a good bowler. I have not seen him bowl, but how can you give somebody else a chance instead of this guy? I just don't get it, and there's no explanation. Gurnoor Brar is 25. This guy, Auqib Nab, is 28. What's going on? Like, he's in the prime of his life. He's bowling the best in his that he's bowled. He's gotten all the wickets across Ranji Trophy, and you do not. So it's interesting, right? There's a and nobody's talking about it.
You want to know how many wickets Anuj Kamboj had? This or Anshul Kamboj, or I forgot his name. Kamboj in this
in Ranji Trophy, I don't know.
Anshul Kamboj.
Yeah,
13.
13. Yeah. Well, he's not in the team, thankfully.
But he was.
He was, exactly, right? And Nabi was doing his thing when he was selected for England also, right? He had already done his thing in the last year. Forget it. Okay, 1 year could be, fluke. Second year, he's doing better. He did better. He made 60 wickets. That's second highest ever in the history of Ranji Trophy. I think there was somebody who took more than like 65 odd, right? I'm not sure, like 2-3 wickets more. This guy has taken the second best number of wickets ever in the form of his life, and everybody, all current cricketers are gushing over him, but he's not selected. It's amazing.
I mean, you look at his IPL performance and you wonder whether that had a factor.
Exactly. I was coming to that, and that's probably the reason, right? He probably didn't bowl in the IPL because IPL, I think we play test matches in the
he
didn't bowl there.
Hammered. Yeah, he got hammered.
Yeah, he got hammered, but everybody got hammered, right? Yeah. So I just don't get this. I really feel that, whatever slight respect I had for Ajit Agarkar is down the drain, right? Sure, he selected Manav Sutar and he did well in the one-off test, but really, I just can't believe it. And the other thing, and nobody's talking about, that's the other thing. All the stalwarts we are talking about Sachin Tendulkar, we are talking about all even existing players like Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. Nobody's talking about that. I don't know. Nobody really wants to be on the wrong side of whoever. I don't know. Like, it's crazy. The only guy who talked about it, and you won't be surprised, is Dilip Sarkar, and nobody's listening to him, right? He's like, if you are not going to select Auqib Nab, then stop saying that Ranji Trophy is where you need to perform to come to the Indian team. And a current player from Mumbai, right? He's the other guy who talked about it. Siddesh Lad, a veteran in the Mumbai Ranji team, he said that after this decision, the selectors have said that to get into the Indian team, Ranji Trophy is not the yardstick. You have to do well in the IPL to get into the Indian Test team. He said that, and I agree with him. So to get into the Indian Test team, you have to do well in IPL, and that way we are going to destroy this team. We are picking Sai Sudarshan again, who has average of 30 odd in his Ranji Trophy, and we don't pick Sarfraz Khan, who has an average of 80 plus, right? And finally, Sai Sudarshan keeps doing well in IPL, and he keeps being picked up for the Test team. So
Siddesh Lad had his average 77 this year across 11 innings. So he had a good, definitely some sour grapes potentially.
Yeah, I don't even think he's saying, please pick me. He's saying, how can you pick somebody other than Auqib Nab? And he's not even from the same team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's from Mumbai and Nabi's from... It's unfair. It's terrible. I just don't believe it.
How do we how does that change? How do we change that?
You and me? We are just stupid fans.
Not
we
us.
Can't do anything.
Well, you know what I mean. What would it take for the BCCI to change their ways?
I don't know. Former players raising a voice. That's people who are influential, right? I mean, I think if Sachin Tendulkar really, he was definitely a great player of India. I think if he really wants the best of Indian team, or if in Indian cricket, he should be more vocal about this. And okay, I don't want to pick on him. He's just the best player we have ever had, probably the most influential. But even others, right? Even Virat Kohli, somebody like Virat Kohli, who have been so influential, who has gotten so much from Indian cricket, right? They should raise the voice, unless they feel that it's okay, which will be even more terrible, right? But see, selection, I can understand. You know, it's you have a team of selectors who do the selection, and they are chosen through each of the 5 zones and all of that. So you try to be as impartial as possible. But at the end of the day, if certain things, I don't know how they can, just do something so wrong, right? So I don't know. And that's why I think former players, no other player, I don't think I've read a lot of literature these days because I've been busy. We've all been busy, but only Dilip Venkar raised a voice, and it was just nobody listens to that, right? So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that this changes, but this was horrible. Sure, some selections can go wrong. I think Sai Sudarshan being selected, we still took it in our stride, but this one, I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no, fair enough. And I think just one last thing, I don't want to belabor the point too much, but I think we touched on this, that Gill being the captain and then having 7 guys from his IPL team being part of the squad. I mean, it's not per se a knock on him or anything, but you have to figure that is a bias in the selection process. Captain is really important, so I think he's probably going to tend, especially a younger guy, will tend to pick players that he's been around, knows the strengths and weaknesses for, has captained already, right? So it's easier adjustment for him. So, and they're good players, not that they're bad players. They're good players, right? Siraj, he's already in there, right? So that's not a surprise.
I mean, Siraj is probably...
he's also already in there, so that's not really a surprise. But then Sudarshan, Prasidh, So, okay. So, what about the ODI squad? I guess, and I think this probably seems like really strong ODI squad, right?
Not a lot of surprises there, thankfully.
No, other than bowling, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, again, picked Gurnoor Brar. I think, sure, I mean, for ODIs, I have not really followed him, so I don't know. That's fine. I would like... I don't really see anybody really missing from this, which I would have wanted in. Prince Yadav, I think he had a very good IPL, so sure. He's part of it. Arshdeep Singh is also there. Prasidh, well, somebody really loves Prasidh or him to be in all formats. But literally. Yeah. So Hardik Pandya was there, but I think he withdrew. But anyway, I think... any thoughts? I don't really have any thoughts on the ODI team. I think it is pretty okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think goalie's been dealing with some injuries, so I think Ishan Kishan getting a chance in the ODI setup, especially last time he was out, right, with that double century. We just forget about the one ran, the pocket rocket. And then I think Nitish Kumar Reddy there for Hardik Pandya as a replacement. That makes sense. I think interesting that there's a lot of overlay between the Test side and the ODI side with Prasid and Gurnur Brar and Harsh Dubey and Washington Sundar, right? So like similar guys being groomed for both Test and ODI, which I mean I think for me the biggest surprise has got to be Harsh Dubey because I feel he kind of came out of nowhere and kind of got a good shot into cementing a place in the squad. So hopefully he does well for his career, but definitely the most unexpected out of all these players. Yeah, and Gurnur Brar, who I don't even think played Ranji. So interesting. He bowled well though in the ODI. He bowled pretty well.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll be good, right? And has nothing against him at all, right?
So it's about process. Yeah, it's about process. Earning it.
Yeah, earning it and being able to explain your decisions, right? You put this team out and then there is no explanation of why your top Ranji bowler for the last 2 years is not part of the squad and he's not injured. No. And eventually they took him as a net bowler after some of the news came out, right? Then they picked him as a net bowler. Okay, let's have him as a net bowler. But what does that even mean? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, really disappointing for him, I'm sure.
And finally, the ODI team. The T20 team.
Yeah.
Go for it, Siddharth.
Big news, huh?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. You guys can fry me or. A few weeks back, right? We after the World Cup was over, we were all talking about who's going to lead the T20 squad going forward, and we took a poll or a vote across all three of us, right? Mm-hmm. And obviously, I said that he's going to captain Surya Kumar Yadav is going to captain India in the next World Cup and the Olympics, How wrong was I? Right? Okay.
I mean,
go ahead.
No,
Roast
I think
me.
No. I mean, you were you were wrong. I had a inkling that this might happen. Maybe I was a little bit more in tune with the grapevines, but the proverbial grapevines. But I mean, I think it made sense. This was a really good stopping point, at least for his captaincy. Who knows? Maybe he can make the team as a player. Although I really doubt that at this point. I think there are too many good young players behind him for him to come back into the squad. And I think as fans, it's our responsibility to celebrate, all the great moments that he did give us. I remember 100 in England that he hit in a losing effort. I think 112 not out, or maybe he got out in the last over. It was brilliant when everybody else was doing badly. He almost single-handedly won the game for us. Then who could forget his heroic catch of David Miller in the 2023 World Cup? No. 2020.
24, I think.
Yeah, sorry. In the 2024 World Cup in the USA and West Indies. And then, he was the captain that won us, that brought us another title. So I think a lot to celebrate in his career. And she should rest well on his laurels.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's without precedent, right? I went with the precedence that's never happened before, that you have a World Cup winning captain who's not played who does not play in the next T20 or in the next game. Forget as a captain, but as a player. But I think that's again where IPL also comes into the picture. He didn't obviously do well as a batsman in the World Cup, but then he didn't do well as a batsman at all in
IPL
14 games in the IPL. Yeah, so I think that was also something that contributed. Had he done well in the IPL, for example, right? Had he scored a lot more,
still don't think it would.
Then it would have been harder.
Yeah, I still don't think he would have been the captain, though. I think he had lost the dressing room to some degree with his performances.
No, but if you come back as a batter in the IPL, right, and you have led the team to the World Cup victory, it would have been hard for them to remove him. But I think they removed Surya Kumar the batter, not Surya Kumar the captain, is what I feel. And obviously, if you remove Suryakumar, the batter, then captain cannot be. He cannot be in the team just as the captain. So I think that was the reason. If he had gotten his form back in the IPL, it would have been much harder for him to remove from the team. And if he was on the team, he was probably the captain on the team. But yeah, I think it's a harsh decision. But as Ashwin said, it's set a precedent now, right? That the past performances or whatever will probably not matter a lot. And so overall, Shreyas Iyer leading the team, that is an interesting call again. He was not part of the T20 squad at all, and he comes in as the captain.
Yeah, so, I mean, for Shreyas Iyer, I think actually it's almost a very ironic selection for the captain. It almost seemed like the selectors, watched the first half of the IPL and had already made their decision. Because
that's an interesting point, actually.
The meltdown that Punjab experienced to go from undefeated to not even in the top 4 was absolutely mind-blowing. And I think that in of itself, for me, almost turned me off to the idea of having him be the captain, seeing how poorly Punjab performed. Of course, not all his fault, right? But you have...
No, but he couldn't pull together a team for 7 games.
Yeah, after starting... So
yeah.
When you think about a team with a consistent, a consistent edge, or... someone who could bring consistency out of the batsmen, out of the fielding, out of the bowlers. His Punjab's bowling and partially, I guess, his captaincy was bad the second half of the season. It was poor. And they lost a lot of games due to dropped catches, maybe players in the wrong places, and ultimately bowling not executing. So I think when those two things happen, batting is one thing, right? Batting is more individual, right? But when the team fails to perform as a unit, I think the blame has to kind of fall on the captain and the coach. So, we say that these BCCI selectors are really locked in on IPL for the selection process. But when you see what happened with Punjab after the halfway point, it almost seems unfathomable that he was included and the captain versus Rajat Patidar, which I'm not saying I think he should have been in the T20 side, just to be clear. But when you look at who would have actually been a more deserving captain between the two of them, of this team, I think Patidar probably was more deserving because of not only his performances, but the way he controlled his team. I think it's interesting that they went with
it's very interesting
at the end of the day.
Yeah, and that again, hearing you, right, that again brings the fickle-mindedness of the selections. I guess that, sure, I think dropping Suryakumar Yadav based on his World Cup and IPL performance as a batter made sense. And I guess a lot of people were calling for it, and it made sense, right? We talked about that here also. I didn't agree with it, but sure, I agree with the decision in some sense as the batter. But again, and I think maybe bringing in Shreyas Iyer as a batter also, he was probably next in line because Tilak Verma and Suryakumar were there, so it was hard for him to break in, and now he's broken in, and he probably deserved. He has led Kolkata. He's led Kolkata to the victory. He's led Punjab well even last year. So, but as you said, right, looks like they're already made up their mind, right, after the first half of the IPL, and bringing him in and making him captain, unprecedented again, right? Sure, you can make calls which are unprecedented, but I'm not sure if the selection team is really thinking right for a lot of the times they are, I don't think, thinking right. And so if I really don't think you can get in a player and make him or her the captain. I mean, how often has that even happened? Not even sure. Like,
I'm trying
you
to think.
Be a part of a team and then you grow into that leadership role, right? Here, and there is a reason why that happens, right? So all the players, right, who are part of that would feel shortchanged, right? I don't know. It just sounds slightly odd Let's see how that goes. I think maybe he'll be fine and he'll be successful, but still, um, doesn't seem to me that the selectors are in their right minds, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, interesting also. Tilak Varma becoming vice captain. Think it's a bit too much responsibility on the 23-year-old's shoulders at this stage.
Yeah, I'm thankful they didn't make him the captain.
Oh yeah, me too.
So
and then finally, of course, the teenage sensation himself, Rajvanshi, included in the tour of England. Do you think he gets?
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna play? Well, what do you think?
Of course he's gonna play. Yeah.
I mean, not of
and
course.
I'm not happy about that also.
Well, I don't think of course.
Oh, I think if he's in part of... See, that's what, right? I don't want him to be the part of the Indian team. And I think he's probably going to be as big as, say, Sachin Tendulkar in his future. But I don't think this is the right time to bring him in the Indian team. I kind of liked what we discussed last time, right? That get him part of the team, take him on tours, let him get exposed.
Maybe this is what this is.
I don't know. Let's see. I really feel that the fan following and the attraction that he has these days, overall, right? I think they're probably going to play him.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I mean, if you look at the top order, it's a bunch of killers, right? So you still have Abhishek Sharma, you still have Sanju Samson in the squad, you still have Ishan Kishan in the squad, you still have Tilak Varma in the squad, and then you still have Shreyas Iyer, right? So realistically, the one player, if I look at our last team, who can he replace? Well, he's not coming in at 3 or 4, right? He's an opener.
No.
So
yeah.
If we assume that Tilak and Shreyas will be playing 3 or 4 or 4 and 5 or somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
There's Ishan Kishan, Sanju Samson, Abhishek Sharma, and Vaibhav. And only 2 of those guys are going to play, realistically, at most 3.
Yeah.
So I do see a reality where he misses out. I think Abhishek Sharma is going to play. Right, so then we narrow it down to Sanju, Ishan, and Vaibhav. I think he might get a game, but I again you sit Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan to play Rajvanshi. I think that would be harsh.
No, I think Ishan plays 3 and Tilak plays 5, right? So I think it's one of the 3 who will be out. So it'll be
Samson again. He's going to be the odd
between
one out.
Samson, yeah. The fall guy, Samson, Abhishek, and Rajvanshi. Out of those 3, 2 open.
It's going to be Abhishek.
I believe.
He's going to open. I don't see them sitting.
I don't know. He was not in the good form in the World Cup.
Yeah. Turned it around IPL though, decent.
So,
yeah. I mean, interesting to see that though.
Yeah, or maybe they're just picking him for as the third opener, right? Maybe that makes sense. But I really feel that he should probably hone his skills further. Once he gets into the Indian setup, right? I don't think he's going to get time to play the Ranji Trophy. Oh, by the way, it doesn't matter, right? Whether you play well in the Ranji Trophy, right? It doesn't matter anymore, as we see. So yeah, maybe that's why he'll play for the Indian team without playing a Ranji match or a few games.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, I think that puts a button on the Test, ODI, and T20 selection. Mama, are there any final thoughts, or that's all good?
I think I've ranted enough.
That's okay. That's what the space is for. Some rants. Our final topic we were going to cover was the England-New Zealand Test series. So New Zealand touring England. Actually, lots to discuss about the first Test match and the pitch, and whether or not it was a good Test match wicket or not. But I think we'll maybe discuss that some other time when we have a more in-depth conversation about pitches. But Mama, do you have anything about the Lord's pitch or anything that you wanted to add about that real quick?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you don't want a Test match to get over in almost 2 days, right? Just that it rained and it probably went to the third day. But yeah, I'm just curious to see how they rate, how the ICC rates this pitch, right? Because anytime, again, I'm probably I'm slightly being
India-centric
fan of the Indian team, India-centric. But such a pitch in India would have definitely been called poor. So I'm waiting for ICC's update on that. And the funny thing is, pitches like Lords, right, where fast bowlers have they are also kind of more dangerous than a turning track, right? Sure, on a turning track you can lose those wickets, but there's hardly a chance that a batter will get injured. But on such Lords pitches, on a pitch like Lords, right, variable bounce and fast bowlers bowling at you, it might actually also cause
Dangerous.
Injury to the batsman. So it's even worse, right? But anyway, let's see. So yeah, obviously not a good pitch. The pitch that we saw India play England last year, that was a great pitch, right? A really fantastic pitch. And within a year, they I don't know what they did, but it was definitely not good.
Yeah, so Kane Williamson also retiring after the first test.
Yeah.
So amongst the Fab
that's the
Four,
latest news.
Yeah. Amongst the Fab Four right now, only two remain in the Test circuit, Root and Smith. So I think we could probably say then that Smith and Root probably just that cut above Williamson, even though, of course, Williamson is a fantastic, silky, amazing player. But, the final member, right, the first one to leave the Test arena, although not retired, but not selected, Kohli, of course, King Kohli. Between him and Williamson, Mama, let's do a mini selection committee here and tell me who you've got as the batsman. I know Williamson came in at 3, Kohli at 4, but let's just say you had a batsman to pick for number 4. Who would you take between the two?
Yeah, I might actually look at the pitch to select, but yeah. In current form, I would choose Williamson. If you're talking about Test matches.
Oh, yeah, Test matches, of course.
I think Virat Kohli, in the last few years of his international Test career, right, kind of was not as impressive. I think Williamson is really going out at his peak, and Virat Kohli kind of was not at his peak when it comes to Test batting when he retired from Test matches. So some of it is also should be alluded to the kind of pitches he played on in India, especially towards the later part of his last 2-3 years of his career. His average for the last 2-3 years was pretty dismal, I think in the 20s or the early 30s. So yeah, I mean, if it was recent form, I would choose Williamson. But if you have to look at the overall career-wise, I think just the fight that Kohli brought and the way he played the Australians especially, right? Yeah, I would probably choose Kohli if it was for the entire year. It's hard to choose, right? I mean, between those two.
Of course,
yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think Williamson definitely was a very strong performer in New Zealand, and played well all over the world as well. So not taking anything away from him. I think Kohli again I think it might just be his aura, really, that makes him feel that much harder to get out, that much harder to beat on the field. So I think the intensity that you alluded to, his aura that I'm mentioning, I think probably take Kohli over Williamson. But again, fantastic career by Williamson. In terms of stats, he's right up there with one of the greatest.
Yeah, average of 54, which is definitely much better than Kohli's. Relatively speaking, Kohli was around 49. This is not bad at all.
Yeah.
But I think also one more thing that I think tilts the scales towards Kohli is I think his leadership. The team that he had, right, and the team that he built over, along with I think Ravi Shastri. We don't really mention him enough, but the Test team, the Test side that they built over the 5 to 10 years that Kohli was the captain, it was transformational.
Yeah.
The fact that the Test team won in Australia when he was captain, of course, you can always say that Smith and Warner were not there, but still, like, I mean, they still had 11 other players who were good, and their replacements were also not bad. But if you look at it, right, the only reason I think India won again the second time in 21-22 was also because of the belief that Kohli as the captain had instilled in the team. Sure, he went back after the first match and that was a disaster. And Rahane definitely led well, but it was still Kohli's team, and the way they played Test cricket, the way the selections were, the kind of players he built, right? The fast bowlers that he built, especially. Yeah, I think that's his. For me, that's Kohli's legacy. The way he built our Indian Test team, and we just had. He gave me the ultimate pleasure in cricket, right? He won. I mean, the Indian team won down under twice Test series. So I don't think nothing can beat that for me, and that's why I'll always be thankful for Kohli, the Test captain. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So then, one more kind of controversial thing that took place was Ben Stokes once again nightclub incident, and really feel for the guy in some ways. He's not been performing with the bat. He must be under tremendous pressure. No, England won the first test, right, on a very tricky wicket. But he's, again, another Ashes where, that ended in failure. Harry Brook, right, in the lead up to the Ashes, getting caught in a nightclub as well in New Zealand, right, which led to the curfew that was established in England's tour.
Which was broken.
And then Stokes became the first player to, at least to our knowledge, break. Really just not a great look for Stokes. Although I do feel for him.
How can you feel for this guy?
Because I think, I mean,
I have no sympathy
why.
For the guy.
So I have sympathy. I guess I have more empathy than sympathy, as in I don't think I would act the same way if I were in his shoes, but I can see why someone would act that way, if that makes sense. And again, I think the
Show
whole
me.
concept.
I can't see it.
No, so the whole concept of the curfew in the first place was a big mistake. These are adult players, right? If you're a part of a team culture that requires a curfew, and you're all adult professional players, right? This isn't some school team, right? This isn't some school team going on a tour somewhere. You got to keep track of all the kids or else the parents are going to be on you, right? So you need to put in a curfew because you're the responsible person for all these. These are people who are all responsible for themselves. So really there should be no need for a curfew. But the fact that the team culture requires...
No, these are people who should be responsible for them, but they are behaving like school children again and again and again. And that is why there was a curfew needed, right? And that again comes back to Stokes, the captain, right? And maybe Baz, the coach. How are they letting this team do what they're doing? Having brawls in nightclubs and pubs. In between a test match or just right after a test match, in between a series.
No.
Wow. How can this be sympathized with? Go ahead.
No, I mean, I would say, we don't know the full extent of what happened in this incident as well, so it's still under some investigation. I know the previous incident that you're discussing in 2017, I think, that ended up with Stokes having to miss the 2017-18 Ashes, even though the charges after the fact were dropped. There is definitely some sympathy you could have for Stokes for that particular incident, and for those who want to put the research into learning more about that incident, feel free, go ahead. But I think you'll understand why Stokes did what he did in that particular incident. This one, not necessarily sure what happened. I think the fact that it was after the match, I'm not sure whether I think it's anyone's business if he's in a nightclub after a test match. Yes, they have a curfew, but I don't know. Yeah, the fact that they had the curfew makes it bad. But the act of him being in a nightclub after a test match isn't in of itself bad. It's only bad because of the curfew, which I think is a mistake to have over a team. In my opinion, having that kind of toxic, controlling culture leads to things like this: resentment, people acting out, people lying, deceit, right? So really, I feel like this is just a small incident that highlights England's dressing room problems and honestly poor judgment in leadership in some ways.
I frankly just feel that being the quality of the being the player that you are, right? Stokes is, we all don't doubt his quality as a player, and being such an important part of the team, right? I think, believe it or not, alcohol does things to you that makes you behave the way you probably wouldn't want to in hindsight, right?
Of course.
So I don't. So sure, he has every right as an adult to visit a nightclub whenever he wants, right? Sure. But what are you thinking about when you're doing that in the middle of a series, right? And there's been precedence, right? I mean, it's just that,
like, don't put yourself in that position to get in a situation where
it may not even be his mistake, right? I'm sure there'll be 10 people trying to rile him up, right? And he reacted to it, maybe. I don't even know, right? Maybe, and that's usually what happens. That's what's happened most of the times, right? There's somebody who's a useless person who kind of riles you up, and then the player reacts, right? But that's what, right? That's why do you want to put yourself in that situation?
putting yourself in that situation. That's true.
When a series is at stake, right? And it's not the first time that has happened. Why don't we learn? Why doesn't he learn from his mistakes? Okay, you may say that it's not a mistake to go to a nightclub, sure, but what are the consequences of that? You losing your test place, you losing your captaincy, you retiring, England suffer in the England cricket team suffering because of that, your country's cricket team suffering because of that. For what? For the right that I have to go to a nightclub in the middle of a series? Really? I don't. I don't think he acted well by actually doing that, by breaking a rule. Again, sure, the rule is not good or should not be put, but there is a rule.
It was a rule that he established, which makes it even more hard to understand and harder to sympathize with, as you're saying, because he made the rule. It was his decision. And if he wanted to change it so he could go to a nightclub after a test match, he should have changed the rule, right? It would have been so easy. Oh, yeah, we have a curfew because we're in Australia and we want to keep all the players safe. And Ben Duckett got accosted by people as well. And, all this other stuff can happen. Makes sense. But you're back home, then, no, the curfew is lifted, so I'm going to go to the nightclub. But
and also, like, being a personality, being at a level where you are, right? There will always be people who will rile you. There's so much comment
recognizable
on social media,
person too. It's hard to miss him.
So so there has to be some kind of restraint. I mean, I don't blame him completely, sure, but I do blame him for repeating the same mistakes, right? And not really following rules. What kind of precedence he's setting for younger.
And he was probably going to miss the next. I mean, he's definitely missing the next test match, right? Because he's under investigation. And if that investigation continues, he, for a longer period of time, he may even miss the third test match, right? Which is even worse. So.
Yeah, and there's also talk about him thinking of retirement.
I think that would be a mistake. I think that would be a mistake. You want Ben Stokes to retire like this.
You don't want. Nobody wants him to retire, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot to give still to England, I think.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I can't get over his spells that he did in Lords last year.
Oh yeah.
The guy is a machine.
Yeah. So I think that's all from us from Cow Corner, and let me just say, let's go Knicks.
Come on. Who cares?
Oh, come on. World champions, baby. 55 years. Come on.
Yeah, good for them. And finally back to Cow Corner. Really feels good being back after a short kind of an enforced break for one reason or the other. So yeah, we'll see you soon, everyone.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
This episode was produced by Mukta Phatak. Music by Joe Reynolds.